Hi everyone, I'm going to be demonstrating the enzyme lab today, and as you can see I'm kitted out ready for it. I've got my gloves on, my apron, and I couldn't find my safety glasses so I have to put swim goggles on instead. So let's get going with this. Let's see what we've got. So here what we need is liver. I got chicken livers, hydrogen peroxide, and ideally you should have hydrochloric acid, but I do not have any hydrochloric acid at home. So I'd have to think, what can I use as my strongest acids that I have at home? So I'm going to try using some vinegar as an acid. And then I also got some pool chemical, which is a pH minus, so that drops the pH. And so I made up a little solution of that because it comes in sort of granule form, and I put it in some water. And so those are going to be my acids. What I've done here then, and remember the first thing you should do is read this pre-lab, and I've posted that for you. I want you to read that and answer the questions. And also remember to read the lab instructions. And so what you're going to be doing, or what I'm going to be doing and you're going to analyze, is looking at what affects the enzyme in the liver. The enzyme in the liver is called catalase, and what it does, if you can see this equation here, when we have hydrogen peroxide, remember this is our hydrogen peroxide, when that is added to the liver, what's supposed to happen is the hydrogen peroxide in the presence of catalase, and that's the enzyme in the liver, catalase, breaks down the hydrogen peroxide into water, 2 molecules of water, and oxygen. And so if it does that, then when you add the hydrogen peroxide to the liver, you should see lots of bubbling. But certain things may denature a enzyme. Enzymes are proteins, and if they don't operate at the correct temperature or the correct pH, for example, then they are denatured, which means that they're non-functioning anymore. So this is what we have. We have some uncooked liver there. So that's taken straight out of the packet. Then cooked, that was just placed in the microwave. It looks delicious, doesn't it? Placed in the microwave for 30 seconds. This one here was placed in some vinegar. The next one here was placed in the pool solution, pH down, so that's acidic as well. Then the next one is pureed, so it's the uncooked liver just ground up there. And then the last one is liver juice, so the livers come in the package and they're in the juice of the liver. Okay, so we've got those 6 different things: uncooked, cooked, placed in acid, 2 types of acid. One is vinegar, one is the pool acid, and then pureed and liver juice. So what I'm going to do is add some hydrogen peroxide to each one, and I've measured out the hydrogen peroxide. I didn't have a graduated cylinder here at my home, so I just used one of these medicine cups. You see it's got 5 millilitres, 10 millilitres, and I actually put 15 millilitres. Be careful not to I'm going to throw this away afterwards because I don't want anyone taking medicine that's had hydrogen peroxide in it. And so I've measured those out, 15 millilitres for each of the cups of the livers that I'm going to be placing it in. Okay. So first of all, on this sheet, on your question sheet, it says write a hypothesis. Okay, this is what it says here. We have beaker 1 is uncooked. Then we have one cooked, then we have one that's been placed in the blender, that's the pureed one, and then one that's been sitting in hydrochloric acid, but we've got 2 types of acids here, so you remember that, you'll have to add an extra column unless I redo the table, and then the liver juice. Okay, and the hypothesis you write is, if hydrogen peroxide is, if the liver is whatever, cooked, pH, pureed, whatever, then this will happen. Okay, so you need to add your hypothesis there of what you think is going to happen. And then you make your observations before adding hydrogen peroxide and after adding hydrogen peroxide. And then it gives you the strength of the reaction, no bubbles or large amount of bubbles, on a scale of 0 to 5. So just take a look first of all before I added the hydrogen peroxide. That's the uncooked. Kind of look at the colour of it and maybe the texture, kind of shiny-ish. And then you look at the cooked one. And it's not quite as shiny and it's obviously changed colour. And then we look at the ones in acid and they've changed colour as well compared to the uncooked one. So those three have changed colour a bit, not as shiny. Pureed looks absolutely delicious, right? And then the liver juice. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do it. I'll try and film this without getting my hands in the way. So here's the first one. This is the uncooked. I'm going to add the hydrogen peroxide right now. That's the first reaction. So that one is uncooked. The next one is cooked. Let's see what happens. I don't see any bubbles there at all. Okay. The next one is the one that's been in acid vinegar. Not a lot going on there either. Now the pool acid. Where is it? Yeah. Nothing there. If you can hear some bubbling, it's still the first one. Look at that. That's the uncooked. Cooked. One placed in vinegar. Next one placed in the pool chemical acid. Now the pureed one. Here it is. And finally, the liver juice. So no actual liver here, this is just the juice. Oh my goodness. So there you have it. I want you to fill out the columns here, and on the back of this sheet there's a bunch of questions I'd like you to answer to. And oh my goodness me, I'm going to take these goggles off because they don't make great safety wear, because they're all steamed up and I can't see much, but at least I didn't get any acid in my face. Hope you understood that now and you're able to do this work. Bye bye. Let me find